Hey traders, Rocky here, and I wanted to follow up on the free video from last Friday where we talked about copper and crude as potentially being in some bottoming. Now, I'm going to wait for crude to get what we talked about on that last free video, the OPEC sort of kick that it needs. What do I mean by that? OPEC's going to really get vocal about meeting sooner and then get vocal about more production cuts, probably to give crude sort of the support that it needs. I think technically we're getting pretty close to some levels, but there's a chance that until the event comes to change the bearishness in the market, I'm going to keep my eye on copper. So let's jump on over here. So what you're looking at is the TradeStation platform with copper on it. This is the March contract. And you'll see that I can just move this to the bottom of the Darvas level. Now, is there some support in this area by way of that previous Darvas? There is, but this is where I want to sort of distinguish between the price-based support and resistance levels and the volume-based support and resistance levels. So this is called the this is called a V-score. It's a Z-score of the volume-weighted average price and price. So I'm pulling a Z-score. And the V-score name is something I made up in order to kind of study the Z-score between volume-weighted average price and price. So some of you might already be familiar with this tool of mine. And I've been using this for many, many years, and we have it kind of, now you can follow it along on the chart rather than I used to do the calculations every day and write today's score on my journal. So now I can track it a whole lot easier. And when you track it, you start to see that we've bottomed out a number of times along the -2 standard deviation. So while, yes, we have support right here on HG, for me, the volume qualified support happens at about a -2, even just below it, but right about a -2 standard deviation. So yeah, I think this could be the beginning of the bottoming process. This could be a minor low. I say it could be because this is where we're in the zone, but we haven't left the zone. It's really important that we focus on the trigger within the zone, not after it's left. Because a lot of people feel better once sort of the confirmation of the zone is there. But since I'm, for the most part, focused on long call options here, not necessarily long copper, but long call, just to contain, quantify, minimize risk. The idea here is take advantage of the bearish momentum, buy those calls with the bearish momentum for the eventual bounce that I'm looking to set up while we're in the range. Not when it's left, but while it's in it. So keep an eye on copper. We talked about crude and copper last Friday. Copper is definitely number one right now for me. I need OPEC to step up and help crude out a bit, but I'll be patient. But keep an eye on this copper. This is the March contract. We have a little bit of time to expiration, so be aware of that. First notice date is the 28th of February. So I think we have enough time before the rollover impacts this contract. After that, by the way, if you are interested in something without sort of first notice date breathing down your neck, you can roll into, and I would focus on the K contract. We're gonna jump out to May. Take a look at the previous volume and open interest. We're gonna leapfrog the J or the April and right into K. So if you're wondering, okay, Rod, yes, for sure, the H or March contract is the front month, but where would I go after that? Or if I wanted to get into a contract that has liquidity, I would focus on this right there, okay? So that's where, by the way, this is something called the Futures Trader Pack 2 from TradeStation. I'm a big fan of their charts. And this is a cool little tool to help you along with some of these decisions, and it's right on your chart. So you won't be blindsided by some of these dates and the type of volatility and price action that they will often entail, like closing in on first notice date and a lot of the rollover activity that will accompany that. All right, so that's copper. Hope that helps, and I will see you in the next update.